Hi, I'm John and this is my gardening journey. It's the middle of February and it's time to start sowing some seeds. Here in the east of England, the ground is covered with snow. Last weekend and a few days this week, we had around about 4 inches of snow fall, and now it's turned to ice. So I've come into my greenhouse and I thought I'd start sowing some seeds for this year's crop. Despite the cold outside, I've come into my greenhouse where I have a heated bed where I'll be germinating some of the seeds that I'll be using later in the year. Sowing seeds in February gives you an opportunity to get a jump on the year and get some crops earlier on than you would normally if you had waited until next month or the month after to sow into the ground. Most of the seeds that I'll be sowing today, if I were to grow them outside, I would normally have to wait a month or two before sowing them. But because I'm able to protect them from frost here in the greenhouse, I have the opportunity to get things done that little bit earlier. If you don't have a greenhouse or warming bed, you can use a windowsill and get similar results. I'm currently waiting for some new seeds to arrive, so I'm going to be using some of my old seed stock for this sowing. That means that some of this may or may not germinate depending on how well those seeds have done since last year and potentially the year before, but hopefully they'll be okay. We'll be starting sowing with Brussels sprouts. Now Brussels sprouts will be sown now and be ready for Christmas. So absolutely love Brussels sprouts. I'll also be sowing some cucumber, a little bit early for cucumber, but with the heated bed I should be okay. I'll also be doing some peas. As you can see, this is a old packet, so it should be okay still. So the last vegetable I'll be sowing at the moment is some spinach. I still have some out in the ground, which is currently covered by snow. I'm going to dig that up because it's quite old now and use some fresh batch for this year. This is a cut and grow again variety, so it only needs a small amount of space, a few plants, and I'm set all year round. I'm going to start off with some sprouts, and sprouts like to germinate in some finely sieved soil, so I'm just getting that out of the way to start with. The seeds are pretty small and I'm going to use 1 per station. In previous years I've sown my seeds into dry compost, which hasn't really done very well, so this year I'm making sure the compost is fully wet through. The next seed I'll be sowing is for cucumbers, and cucumbers don't particularly like their roots to be disturbed, so I'll be sowing them directly into these larger pots so that when it comes to transplanting them outside they have the best start possible. As with the sprouts, I'm sowing these cucumber seeds into moist soil rather than dry, hopefully to give them the best chance of germinating. I'm sowing 1 seed per pot and then covering over with around about another 2 centimetres of compost. Once the seeds are covered up, just a good water and they're ready to go. So next up is peas, and as with the other seeds, I'll be sowing them into wet compost. I'm putting 2 seeds in per station. I really do need quite a lot of pea plants in order to get a good crop, so yeah, a couple per station should be enough. Once the seeds are in, as with the other seeds, just cover them up with another centimetre or so of compost before another watering and putting them onto the windowsill or heated bed. The last seed that I'll be sowing is a cut and grow again spinach. You don't need too many of these plants, so they're great for areas where you need to preserve some space. The same process applies of making sure we've got damp soil, adding the seed in and then covering over with around about a centimetre or so of soil. I've added a couple of seeds per station, mainly because I'm running out of space on the heated bed. So thank you for watching. I hope this has been helpful for you. If you like this sort of content, please like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.